Hi, Paul Slack is Good News Planet. I'm here with Lorenzo Borghese. Hello, Lorenzo. How are you?
I'm great, Paul. And you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
I'm very happy to get to talk to you. I had the honor actually to go away to Shenzhen, China, with you a few years ago, and I saw you're a do-gooder, and your family and friends. You do a lot of nice things for the world. You have this company now. We're going to learn about South Beach, I believe, the Brewing Company. I see up there on the upper left. It looks to me like the Montauk Lighthouse. I don't know if it is.
It's actually it's a sun that's also a compass that has a latitude and longitude of South Beach, and got the coconut palm trees, blue sky, ocean, and sand,
Wait a
all in one
second.
logo.
That's on your South Beach logo, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm talking about
Oh, you're
your
talking
right.
about the painting.
Yeah, the painting.
Oh, yeah. It's a church.
I almost look
Yeah.
like a lighthouse from here.
No, yeah, it's a church by this artist Levier. It's a French guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, my
but
eyes.
close.
Well, I'm a reverend, I should have thought of that it was a church.
Yeah, you should have realized that was a church. It's in the French countryside.
So
Um,
explain your logo again to me. This is kind of
yes.
quite a cool
So the
thing.
logo was done by famous South Beach artist who's also a partner in my company. His name's Lebo. And I said, I want something in a logo that people can relate with South Beach. And we worked together and came up with this. Obviously, South Beach, we're in the Sunshine State. So a sun is important to include in the logo. Also, you notice the sun is smiling because people like to have a good time in South Beach. Then, of course, the compass, because you're on the water there, the latitude and longitude of South Beach within the logo. Then he originally had palm trees in there. And I said I wanted coconut palm trees because that's more of South Florida than regular palm trees. So he added coconuts. And then he put a blue sky in the background with the brown sand and blue water. And it's all in one logo. There's a lot going on, but it's a fun, happy logo.
Uh-huh. Okay, sure the heck
Yeah.
is. And so how is South Beach Brewing Company? Are you selling? Are you in business?
Oh yeah, we launched in October of 2017. We survived the pandemic, fortunately, and we've been growing fairly nicely. We're just in Florida, but we're focused on just growing in Florida right now, and hopefully we'll get into other states in the near future.
And what are you? Is it a beer company or what?
Yeah, it's a beer company. We have four core beers. We have a Blood Orange IPA, and then we've got our sparkling ales, which are GMO and gluten free. We've got a strawberry orange mimosa, a peach shandy, and a sea breeze, and all of them have 100% natural juices and electrolytes.
Marvelous. And you distribute it to restaurants and bars. You sell it also
Restaurants, bars, were everywhere from Miami Airport to Hard Rock Stadium. We're in a bunch of hotels, and we're in stores like Winn-Dixie, Publix, Total Wine, ABC. We're in a lot of spots, fortunately.
There you go. All right, Lorenzo.
Yeah.
Now, somehow, I don't know why, because also your family is, I believe you're related to the similar last name, because, I have the place out in Montauk and the Hamptons.
Oh, the Vineyard?
Well, yeah, didn't you? Because
Yeah. So Marco and Anne Marie were the two that founded the Borghese Vineyard. Unfortunately, they're no longer with us. They've got two sons that I believe still run the vineyard. But Marco was my father's cousin.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And Anne Marie, really wonderful woman, died of cancer. And I think 2 years later, Marco died in a car accident.
Oh, well,
so they left behind two boys. And from what I heard, I haven't spoken to them, but I heard that they took over the vineyard and are still running it. And I've been there a couple of times, and I believe it's the oldest vineyard in Long Island. It was the first vineyard in Long Island, and they bought it and changed the name to Borghese Vineyards.
Yeah, it's your fan. I learned about you through the Monty family and Gurney's, and Ingrid Lemmy. They all had a good close. Had a very good reputation, your family. As you continue on with that, I know that actually as well.
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
That's a good thing, and. Tell us some of the kinds of things that you are doing down there with the community. Are you involved in some ways
That I'm not doing or that I'm doing?
that you are doing with the community in the South Beach area?
Well, I mean, besides the brewery, I have an animal charity called Animal Aid USA, and we save over 300 dogs a month. We've saved over 34,000 since we launched in 2012. The wonderful thing about our organization, it's run by all volunteers. So everyone that works with me and works for Animal Aid USA doesn't get paid. They do it just because they want to help. And that enables us to save a lot more dogs with less money because, again, there's no salaries, there's no pensions, there's no rent, there's no like real expenses that a lot of the other charities carry. So through fundraisers such as using Facebook and using word of mouth, we've been able to continue to fund this and keep growing every year.
Okay, I recollect you telling me that. That's sort of what I was thinking on. I know you like the animals and the dogs especially.
Yeah.
Did you grow up with dogs? Did you have a?
I did. My first dog was a beagle that I remember. I know we had dogs prior to when I could remember having pets, but the first one I remember was Cromwell. He was a beagle. We had just moved to New Jersey. I was 7 years old, and Cromwell was a fun dog. He used to. We used to let him out. It was back in the day of the dog catcher, and the dog catcher could never catch Cromwell. And Cromwell was a neighborhood dog, and he'd go to the neighbors' houses. They'd feed him. They loved him, and and he was out all the time. And I'd get called out of school occasionally because Cromwell would be in the hallways looking for me. So yeah, that's how I grew up and became like in love with dogs. And then for my 21st birthday, my girlfriend gave me a dog, a black lab, and that dog really changed my life. And because of her, I got involved in animal rescue because I was really shocked to learn that dogs were just being killed because nobody wanted to spend money to keep them alive, and it was easier to euthanize them than to wait for somebody to adopt them. And then that's when I sort of started my charity back in 2012, was because I didn't want to see dogs basically just slaughtered because of money. I think that's a horrible thing to do. And as we know, dogs are man's best friend for a reason, and they're very loyal. And I just hate seeing that. So that's when I started Animal Aid USA.
There you go. Actually, I have a dog behind me, but he's not a real dog. He's
it's a what kind of dog?
Well, I don't know what kind of dog it is. It's hard to see it because I know how to see it.
Oh.
I'll show you, because when people see this dog, they really think it's a real dog. And this is when I show the real background there. Here's my dog. I see the
smiley face. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, next to my side of smiley face, we have this dog. I got it at Bed Bath & Beyond, and I swear to God, every time people, when I had my TV studio and I wasn't working out of my bedroom, people would come in and they'd fall in love with the dog, and then they'd wonder, and then eventually realize it wasn't alive.
Is it a stuffed animal?
No, it's actually a more of plaster.
Okay. Yeah, I can't tell, and it looks small for what is it? Bernese Mountain Dog?
I think that's what it is.
It looks like a Bernese Mountain Dog, but they're obviously very big dogs, so it looks like it could be a puppy. But yeah, I can tell now that it's not doing much.
He's hanging low. But it's unbelievable. My daughter and their family got a dog. They called it Hudson because it's up by the Hudson River and stuff. Geez, dogs are so. I've actually never had a dog, but I love dogs.
Yeah, well, I mean, teach their own. They're some people think that they don't need a lot of responsibility, but I mean, you need a lot of time, a lot of free
Yes,
time to really take care of a dog, and they really like to play and be entertained, and they love your attention. So yeah, it's probably good if you don't have a lot of time to not get a dog, and maybe wait till the time that you do have more time, right?
that's basically how I've gone about it because I'm a worker guy, and I have a daughter, and
Yeah,
it's a
that's
responsibility. I would accept it as a responsibility, just like a family member,
yeah,
because it is
sure.
a family member. But I include animals, pets, and animal kingdom and the plant kingdom. Even I do in all our Peace Day outreaches. I always have an animal and I have a plant because I'm a believer of we're one, and the DNA discoveries have proven more so that that doggy and this plant here has some of the similar DNA as us. So I'm going with that as our
Okay,
little.
yeah, and I see you can touch and pet a plant just like you're doing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you like rubbing it, like go ahead and massage its leaf, and it helps grow, right?
I believe it's true. I'm into, I think, hugging a tree and hugging a pet and an
Yeah,
animal, hugging a Homo sapien brother sister.
yeah,
It
it can help.
invigorates. It actually it makes your blood. And we understood this by doing a brain series for 10 parts at PBS. These are things that are healthy, possibly
Yeah,
more healthy than medicine.
I actually would agree with you. I don't think that you're crazy that you say that you can hug a tree and it feels it, or actually, show that you care for a plant and it responds. Those people that have green thumbs and they've got a special way with plants and they know how to connect with them better. So
It's all
yeah,
good. We're
it's all
we're all
good.
in it together.
That's right. That's right. And
Peace and
all we
love.
know, all we know is that we don't know. No one can claim they're 100% correct about if a plant really has feelings or understands the touch of a human. So I'm all for it.
There you go. All right. Well, I interviewed the guy with the water, Emoto, one time, and he was the guy that said that the water has feelings, and showed with video the water's sensations, how it moved around, and became kind of really well known in that regard. It's all good. I love it
Yeah,
all.
sure. Why not? We're always open to hearing new things and thoughts. And again, all I can always tell people is that no one can be 100% positive about anything. So we'll just I'm just always an open mind. And when I look at the news too, I look at all different angles of it and trying to see if they're trying to create one story, but I don't always believe it. And that's why I was always like, listen, like even like with COVID, no one can 100% say, uh, if more boosters are better or not, because no one really knows yet. Everyone's just playing out, and I think everyone should have the right to go ahead and do their own research and decide on their own what's best for them until we're 100% positive about what's going on. And I think everyone's frightened if something else like this happens again, because hopefully it's handled better if it happens again, and it prepares us for more viruses like this. But yeah, it's been a crazy couple of years, and it looks like we're finally getting through it, and we're trying to stay positive, and then you got Russia and Ukraine coming, going at it now, and it's a crazy time, but we all need some positive things going on.
There you go. Well, we have actually literally have a benefit tonight at my actors temple in Manhattan, a Jewish temple. And even though I'm interfaith, all faith minister, I'm Jewish by birth, and I've practiced Judaism, but I practice all the religions. I love them all. So I was able to, and it means a lot to me. We have a beautiful, I'm on 80th Street here on the Upper West Side. 82nd Street is a Ukrainian church, and it's a beautiful church, and it's a beautiful choir. And I am my family comes from the border of Hungary and the Ukraine, and so my both sides, Polish and Ukraine. So this is a very, you know, personal sadness for me, whether it was there or anywhere, to see what the heck's going on there. So tonight we have a benefit, and the Ukrainian church is coming down to our Jewish temple and going to sing and perform, and we'll have a benefit. And I'm having another benefit with them in Times Square on April 22nd on Earth Day. You know, I think everybody seems to want to, at least here in America, to, you know, say we want peace.
Yeah, no, of course, like, you know, people try to make excuses of you know, why Putin did what he did, and I, you know, to me, I don't think there's any excuse for a war. And no matter how you look at it, no matter what, you know, news network you're looking at and what excuses there are, I just said, once you invade a country and you're killing innocent people and destroying, you know, people's lives, it's, to me, that's just the worst thing you could ever do, and there's no excuse for it. And yeah, it's just, it's awful what's happening. And I think the majority always want peace, and the ones that don't, you know, they're I don't understand them, and I never will. But I'll tell you, they're probably not dog lovers. Right?
I imagine you're 100% right on that. That's an interesting
and not plant lovers either, Paul.
I'm sure.
Or trees or anything, right?
They're mentally ill, as far as I'm concerned. Sadly, I will say, because they do cause damage to, besides themselves, to others. And
it's also sad to think that, you know, just a few thousand people really control the world's future, if you look at it, and it's crazy. You know, like Putin can tell his people to go ahead and attack a country, and they go ahead and do it. And you know, it could create World War III, but you look at everything. I mean, even from politics around the world, there's just a few thousand people really in charge of everything. And I think that their ego gets bigger and bigger, and then they want more and more. And they say, you know, king's never satisfied with just being a king until he rules the world. And you see that happen with these people. And I also think it takes a certain amount of, you know, like, it takes a certain personality to want to be responsible and be in charge of millions of people. And then they, you know, I think it's, a lot of them are egotistical, and they're never satisfied until they get more. And it's crazy. And, you know, and as I said, you've got the future of this planet, you know, essentially divided with a few thousand people. Scary, really scary.
Well, the bully, unfortunately, there's always, probably since the man/woman has been conceived or created, however that occurred, there's seems to always have been a bully. And that bully, a bully is it's scary.
Bullies, thugs, whatever you want to call them. Yeah.
They're scary because either they'll punch you in the nose, or they'll punch your family in the nose if you try to punch them in the nose. It is a complicated scenario. So you have to get everybody to team up to jump on the bully.
We do. Yeah. Bully, we you know, I've seen the image of you know, the thousands of fish going after a shark, and that's what it really had. You know, we all have to come together and not allow, you know, these people to control the future of this planet. It's again, it's scary, and you know, it's almost like every 5 to 10 years you get something like this, and you realize how close we could possibly be to World War III. And again, it's just a few people. It's not the majority. You know, by far the majority of the population of the world wants peace. They don't want this.
Yeah,
and it happens.
Well, and I think that this has been as they say, you know, this has been a long peace run since World War II.
Yeah,
you know, between then and now, I mean, we've had conflicts here and there, but this one seems to be a wake-up call about a bigger picture here.
Yeah.
Well,
let's just keep praying, right? And hope things,
right.
Hope there's a peace treaty signed soon, and then you know, and nothing like this happens again.
Well, we are praying for that. Lorenzo, you're a good man. You're doing that. I'm so happy you shared the the opportunity for others. How do people get to the Save a Dog or to support your efforts?
They could, we're on Facebook if they go to Animal Aid USA, and we do a lot of fundraisers through Facebook. We obviously have a website, and it's animalaidUSA.org. And then they can read up about us. And we've got a lot of wonderful people that help out all the time, but we're always looking to raise funds, and anybody that wants to support us, we're there, and we'll make sure that your money goes to saving dogs.
And then, great, that's magnificent. And then when you bring in South Beach Brewing Company here to New York, you do know that, us New Yorkers, I grew up in South Beach, but, being Jewish, I can't say that we didn't spend a lot of winters, at least a weekend or two at the Ritz next to the Fontainebleau was the place we would go. And it was Art Deco. And I'd come home and I'd say, I stayed at the Ritz. And everybody said to me, really? And I said, yeah, I don't know. I didn't know. It was just this hotel by
right by the Fontainebleau.
Right by the Fontainebleau. So that's where my grandparents took us. That was sort of like Brooklyn, even though I grew up in Tarrytown, but that was a hangout for the Jewish community by far.
Was that spot? Huh?
Well,
South Beach,
it's off the charts.
It's gone, it's gone crowded, and a lot of people have obviously, I think we were getting 1,000 people a day moving to Florida, especially during the pandemic. So Florida has gotten very crowded. And then spring break now, and a lot of kids haven't had spring break in 2 years. So the spring break crowd's been crazy. But it's good to see people out again, as long as they behave. And there's been a couple of people that haven't behaved, but the majority of the population in South Beach is behaving, which is nice. And they're trying to make a lot of changes where they make sure that no violence happens again. I know there was some incidents again this spring break, as we get everyone, but hopefully it continues to go down. And it's a beautiful place. The beach there is incredible. The waters, that clear, like Bahama blue water. It's easy to get to from New York. And to answer your question, we're hoping to get our beer up there probably within the next 6 months.
Great.
I'm working on a couple of distribution deals up there, but as I said, my focus has really been growing Florida because it's a huge state and it's our backyard. And I always believe that if you can't grow it in your backyard, then you've got, you shouldn't be going into other places. You should, do things at home first and then expand.
I agree.
One thing at a time. So that's what we're focused on.
And it's so diverse. I'll mention one other thing about the South Beach and that Miami area. In that I started in 1985, in a multicultural advertising marketing company. All right. The Chinese put me in business, actually. But after CBS and PBS making TV shows. But then I would go and do events for different ethnic communities. And one of my clients was Sprint. I remember one weekend in Miami Beach, I did a Canadian, I did a German, I did an Italian, I did the Cuban community, Cayocho Festival. I flew a plane all around Miami. I mean, it is so diverse down there. There was one more ethnic group, Germans. And so what a place. That's really an international city. It's just magnificent.
Yeah. It's a huge international airport as well, and a lot of South Americans, and many grows every year. But it's wonderful to see, and I'm happy to see a lot of people wanting to come to Florida too, because it obviously helps us.
There you go. All right, last question I'm going to ask you, because we've been involved with peace and world peace and the International Day of Peace. What is peace for you, Lorenzo? What makes peace for you?
Peace for me is happiness, and it goes hand in hand. I don't think without peace there's not happiness, and I think when people are happy, they realize they're in a peaceful state. And when there isn't peace, there's anger and there's violence and there's destruction. So my answer is that peace is happiness. Just like your big heart behind there, you look at that and you feel happy, and that's peace.
There you go. And the happy face is our logo.
Yeah.
It's all good. Lorenzo, you're a great man. Thank you so much.
All right, Paul. Great speaking to you. It's been a while. Good
It's
to
been a
catch
while.
up. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.